welcome everyone to this week's episode of Unrooted Summer Series, the final Summer Series episode here in 2018. I'm your host, Brian Brownfield, and my guest for this week's show is our residential ball hockey. He's a student here at Menlo Athletics, Rodrigo Donor. Rodrigo, thanks so much for joining me on the show.
Well, thank you for having me, and I got to give credit to Jeremiah Testa, because he was the one who DM'd me. He's like, after his Unrooted drop, he's like, we should have you on the show, and next thing you know, here I am.
Here you are, because your story is just so fascinating. We have to get it on the air. So,
and second of all, look, Mama made it. Had to bring that up there.
You're going to go viral after this, no doubt. As if you haven't gone viral before. We'll get to that here in a little bit. Now, first off, why don't you just explain to folks exactly what ball hawking is and how you got so hooked on it?
Well, ball hawking is it's more of like a hobby for us, but it's more than that. It's our passion, because we go out to a lot of Major League Baseball games and we try to snag as many baseballs as we can. And this type of hobby, to most people, is mostly popularized by some guy in New York. You may have heard of him. His name is Zach Campbell, and he, of course, through his YouTube videos, have inspired a new, younger breed of ball hawkers. So the ball hawking scene is alive and well, and I can show you some of the stuff that I got here with me. So this, of course, is my little glove here. It's my Louisville Genesis 1850. It's a Louisville Slugger, but this is the glove I use to catch baseballs. I've been using this since last year, and it's a really inexpensive glove. It's right around $49.99 at Dick's Sporting Goods. Yeah. And one of the nicest accessories I use is this little wrist sleeve thing.
Okay, I've never seen this.
Well, you ever seen quarterbacks use little sleeves to
play
show
calling
play
shirts,
calling?
yeah.
I slip this under my catching arm, and I use this to get a hold of the rosters, to get a hold of who's who without diving into my phone. It's a really fun way, and it's a little better than digging into your phone and losing battery. And I got a couple of baseballs here to show you some of the balls that I've snagged. So this was one that I showed that's a typical ball. So as you can see here, it's the old, this is your typical friendly ball. It's got the Rawlings logo, it's got the official Major League Baseball, and it's got the silhouette here. Here, that's your typical normal ball, though this year, 7 teams are using commemorative baseballs drew out to celebrate their anniversaries. And of course, there are 2 teams here in the Bay Area that use them, the Oakland Athletics and the San Francisco Giants. So here's one of them. So here's a ball that I've snagged. As you can see, this is actually the logo that's on the hat and the jerseys this year, because of course it has the Tribune. It has the Tribune building on the front. The primary logo has the Oakland skyline on the bottom, and of course Brian has gotten one courtesy of me.
Yeah, Rodrigo was kind enough to give this one to me on April 20th. Am I right? Against the Boston Red Sox.
The Boston Red Sox, the old Green Friday Matt Chapman jersey giveaway. And another team here in the Bay Area that has used commemorative baseballs is the San Francisco Giants. So as you can see in the front, they use their official anniversary logo. This is their primary anniversary logo used on their caps and jerseys and marketing and other marketing stuff. And the fun tip for you is the Giants outfielders love to throw up warm-up balls to the outfield bleachers, or to the people in the right field line stands. And sometimes some of these balls have a stamp on the other sweet spot. It's the Giants jersey script logo. It was used from their last 5 seasons at Candlestick Park between 1994 and 1999. So try to keep that in mind if you ever go down to a Giants game, because sometimes they throw these up and you might find one of these. I have snagged another one with those stamps before last year when Hunter Pence tossed one up at the Babe Ruth Series last year.
Awesome. Now, you've also ventured across the country with an East Coast trip that you took earlier this summer. You got to hit up a couple different stadiums out there. Why don't you tell me about that experience?
Yeah. For 10 days, I traveled a lot from the East Coast. I traveled from Baltimore and then to Washington, D.C., and then to New York City. And then I took in 2 Orioles games on the 12th and 13th. That's where that normal ball I got from. It was an umpire toss-up. And the experience at Camden Yards was great. I mean, I've heard a lot about the place, ball hawking wise. The layout was just great. Everyone was pretty chill for the most part. and the barbecue was really awesome.
Oh yes, absolutely. Having been there myself, it's second to none.
You got to try out Boog's Barbecue over in Baltimore
Yes,
for sure.
Please.
Yeah, and then in Washington, I took in All-Star Sunday, which of course is the Futures game, and the All-Star Celebrity and Legend softball game, which normally airs after the Home Run Derby on ESPN. I was lucky enough to get another commemorative. If I could get another of those commemoratives before. You can see you got the Futures game logo right here. This was tossed by Matt Manning of the Detroit Tigers.
Okay.
And this is the second time I've gotten one of these commemoratives before. The first time I got these was when I was in San Diego in 2016 from Ricardo Pinto. He used to be with the Philadelphia Phillies. Not sure where he is now.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, there was the Celebrity and Legend softball game, and this is what was really fun because
this is cool.
in the bottom of the second inning, although this was sadly edited out since this was pre-recorded and aired the next night, Brandon Laracuente, I don't know who he was, but according to the All-Star program, he has starred in 13 Reasons Why, and I have read the book, so I felt like I know who he is. He roped this foul ball down the line, and I was able to run a few steps down and reach over and scoop it up. So it was I didn't count this on my stats, but it was a pretty awesome commemorative softball. It's even a commemorative as well to get because I wasn't sure what they were going for when they use softballs in the game. But as you can see, they actually have commemoratives right. They actually have a commemorative right as well. They actually use commemorative balls, and it's also by Wrongs. And I was lucky to take in a game at practically one of the nicest ballparks across minor league baseball, Richmond County Bank Ballpark, home of the Staten Island Yankees. And that view of New York, it's a really nice view of New York City because you could see like a panoramic view from center field to right field.
Yep.
So if you're ever there, you gotta check it out.
That view is easily one of, if not the greatest, across not just minor league baseball, but really all of professional affiliated baseball as well. Now, earlier you mentioned statistics. You do have your own website where you keep track of your own ball hawking statistics. How did you get involved with that kind of tracking?
Well, it's not really my own website, but it's a website for many ball hawkers to check out and log on their balls. It's called mygameballs.com. And it's a site where you log on, where you enter a game, enter your attendance in, and log in your stats, how many balls you got that day, and it logs on.
One of the things that I mentioned in the opening was that you've gone viral before.
Yes.
You were recently featured on ESPN, SportsCenter, MLB Network. You were caught during a San Francisco Giants game for a couple of different reasons. So what we're going to do is we're going to play the video over, and we're going to break down the film of you and exactly what happened. If you haven't seen this yet, folks, I promise you it is worth the watch. So we're going to begin here. San Francisco Giants game, bottom of the sixth. Joe Panic hits a foul ball down the line, and look at the highlighted fan. That's you. You lean over the fence, and then you fall over. What happened?
Okay, so I saw the ball, I read the ball, and I was sitting right there. So I took a couple steps down. I read it. I thought I had a chance. So I tried to lean over, and I thought I could reach it and try to snag it in. So I tried to give my feet a little bit of push. But what turns out, I felt my body fall over to my front, and then next thing you know, I'm landed and I'm on the field, and I hear this cry going, oh.
So you finally get up. You're walking back. Now they show you hurl the glove. You were not happy.
Nah, because, this was, and the worst thing was, this is the first time I've snagged double digits in my lifetime. This
That's
was actually
true.
one of 2 times I've snagged double digits.
So now we progress later into the game, right? You're upset about it, but you'll get over it.
Yeah, I'll get over it.
Here's what happens. Okay, so they're going to follow up with the replay.
Can I pause this?
Yeah, go ahead.
Can you just move on? They highlighted those girls, right there. I didn't even know who they were. I wasn't even trying to impress them for that matter. So when I looked at the video, I'm like, I never even talked to them. Why would I try to impress them? I never even talk to them about anything. They were just there behind me.
That's what was really kind of a funny side story about it, because I think they show up right here, oh snap, look at that.
I wasn't trying to show off. I didn't even know who they were anyway. I didn't even talk to them for that matter.
Okay, so now you're kind of having a good laugh about it. You're ready. We progress later to the 7th inning, and now you're taking off the Diamondbacks gear.
Yeah.
And you're putting on a Giants jersey. Do explain.
Okay, first of all, this isn't the only time that I've done this. I've done this last year. I started doing this last year when I went to when I go to Giants games, starting with the Dodgers and Giants. And then the first time I was on TV exposed doing that was against the A's and the Giants. And at that time, it was just only like across the Bay Area. It was on Facebook as well. And all I could say is like, it's a legitimate strategy. It is a legitimate strategy to get baseballs for me, but it is a bold strategy.
Well, if it gets any better for you, Rodrigo, is that we see later on in the ball game, they're showing you now in the San Francisco Giants gear, just hanging out. We go another inning later, bottom of the 7th, and you're switching again.
Because I do this every time. I gotta look the hype there, because I have to make sure the right fielder's looking at me, and it's just like looking right there.
Possibly the best part about this entire ordeal was that they didn't even talk about that Giants Diamondbacks game at all. They only talked about you, so that was pretty unique.
Yeah,
I have to admit that.
Uh-huh.
So now when it came time to pick a college, I guess as we transition away a little bit from ball hawking, we'll stay on it a little bit, but what made Menlo College stand out to you?
Well, one of the things was prior to this, I didn't even, up until my junior year, I didn't even hear about Menlo College like at this point. I passed by it a couple times like, oh look, there's a college right there, but I didn't really put any minds into it, and then next thing you know, I got in my junior year, I took Avid, and I have to thank Jason Letke, the former Avid teacher at Cappuccino, for doing this type of project. And we had a little project where we were doing a research project on the type of college we did. I did San Jose State, but I was looking through the list of colleges because Mr. Letke gave out these lists of colleges right there across California to look through. And then I looked through Menlo College, and I'm like, that's interesting. So I clicked there, and I went to the website, and I was looking through the stuff, and I saw your sports management program, and it was like, oh wow, this is a really interesting school. This is a pretty interesting school there. So, because at that time, my primary choice was San Francisco State, because my mom worked there before she married my dad, aka Senor Rod. See, I will mention you, father. And my cousin at the time was going to school there, so it was like my primary thing. But when it came time to make a decision around April of 2016, like I had a choice between San Francisco State and Menlo College, and I like Menlo mostly because of like the student life here is very good, and not to mention the class sizes as well. When it came time to decide, I decided to go here in the end.
I think you made the right choice, because one of the other benefits about working at a college or going to a college like Menlo is that you get the opportunity to work in the game operations crew, and you've been involved with us now for 2 years. What's your favorite part of work in games?
I think the best part about it is like I try like a bunch of new things, as well as a lot of different games I never cared for, because in high school I worked in the press box, and I was also a statistician used to be a statistician for girls basketball. And then when I'm working here now, it was like I get to try a bunch of new things, because I've worked as a spotter, a scoreboard operator, a camera guy. What else? Sideboard for basketball. Sideboards are really fun, by the way, now.
And you're good at it.
Yeah, and I try out a bunch and the best thing is like a lot of the sports that I've gotten into, like I never cared for in high school, like volleyball and softball to an extent. I've actually enjoyed it now.
Part of the beauty for working for us, as I mentioned, is you've done some camera work, on-field camera for baseball and softball, and it gives you a unique opportunity because you still bring your glove and you bring a helmet out there to protect yourself. So how do you stay focused on camera work and also any balls that come your way?
Well, I didn't bring the helmet with me, but the way I do it is like I have my glove like this, right? So I have this finger on the little handle of the camera, and I have my right hand like this to like pivot. And then if I see a foul ball come this way, I just read the pitch. I just read it. Like if I think it's coming that way, I just go after it and shag it. It's kind of like how I'm in like section 218 at the Coliseum, or like section 101 at AT&T Park, except I'm sitting down. Whereas so I'm up there, I'm standing up. And when I see it, and it's happened, it seldom happens, only like a couple of other occasions in baseball, but in softball, it often comes a lot.
All right, Rodrigo, let's get into the final segment of the show. It's called Brownie Bites.
I heard this is like the most exciting part of the show.
This is usually one of the most often anticipated parts of this show. So let's see how you do with these 3 questions, all right? Question number 1, name the person who you think would make the worst ball hawker.
Okay, because if you're talking about here in Menlo, I don't
It
want to name...
It can be anyone.
Oh, good, because there is a guy at the Coliseum. He's an event supervisor, and I'm actually going to call him out right now because I'm probably going to share him this video later. And his name is Steve, and he's one of those guys who always try to see me. He's always thinking like I would get like 2 or 3, and every time I come up empty up there, sometimes he always goes like 0. And he's like, "You're slipping, man. You're slipping. What's going on? We got to send you down to Nashville." So, Steve, if you think you can do better than me, if you think you can catch more than 1, I want to see you out there with a glove at the Coliseum.
Game on, challenge accepted, no doubt about it. Question number 2, name the person who you would most enjoy taking with you on a ball hawking road trip.
Oh, this one's a great question because I have one person in mind, and he's a great friend of mine too, and he too is a fellow A's fan, and he's one of the big Coliseum ball hawkers. His name is George Sakaris. On Instagram, he is at dopest_Malika. Give him a follow. He's a great guy. And he's like a great friend of mine because we both like give each other encouragement in terms of getting baseballs. In fact, recently at the A's Astros series, he snagged his 300th lifetime baseball. Wow. So I gave him a big congratulations, and he's always given me encouragement as well. And we both like exchange some stuff sometimes. We exchange baseballs, and me and him going to a road trip would be like great. It would be really great. So I'd have to pick him. And once again, let me point it out. His Instagram, dopest_MALAKA. Give him a follow. He is a wonderful guy.
And then question number 3, is there one ballpark that you absolutely do not want to go to?
Oh, see, this is a weird question because I haven't gone to all 30 ballparks, and out of the 9 ballparks I've been to, I've only been to 6. I've been only checking in a game 6. And one of the games I'd go to, and I know I've pointed this out to our former supervisor, Lucas, that I do not like Petco Park. I hate that layout. It's just so conjoined. I mean, there's like a lot of rails, and the concourses are like so weird. It just goes up and down. It's not like leveled consistently. So, and with the new netting like going down the line, it's going farther than down the line. It's just I'm not in the mood to go back there anytime soon. I mean, like, dugout to dugout is fine. I mean, the Giants is also a little ridiculous with the nets going like right to the ends of the lower boxes, but given the success that I've had there, I'm not complaining that much. I'm not complaining that much.
Exactly. Well, Rodrigo, you nailed it. Thank you so much for joining me on the show.
Hey, thank you, and follow me on Instagram as well at rdonner3 as well.
It's up on the screen. Make sure to go follow Rodrigo. Make sure to follow all of his ball hawking buddies. Check out his website too. We'll throw that up on the screen as well.
I'll put that a link on the description as well, just in case.
Don't worry, I got you.
And thank you very much, and I hope I passed the audition.
You did pass the audition. Maybe a return appearance in the future. Who knows? Well, folks, thank you so much for tuning in all summer long to the Unrooted Summer Series. As we begin next week, fall sports are in action, so the fall sport coaches will be debuting their 2018 episodes of Unrooted. We'll have men's soccer, women's soccer, and women's volleyball coming up for you here shortly in about a week or so. So stay tuned to menloathletics.com for all the information. I'm Brian Brownfield. Thanks so much for joining me on the show. We'll see you next week.